know, it's nice to play and just be out there and help your team. That's what we all strive for. We all prepare to, play 30, 35 minutes. Unfortunately, some guys, don't get that look, but you got to be ready.
All right, this is the part of the show where we hand out awards. We start with the Boxing Out Award, then we go to the Baller of the Night Award. First off,
boxing.
We're boxing. This is the bow throwing. Okay, that was a cheap shot. My Boxing Outside of the Night is the turnovers for the Celtics. They had 10. Season low. It was going against a Denver team that forces a lot of turnovers, keeps a high-paced game where there's bound to be a lot of turnovers. To have their best turnover total of the season was massive.
Oh, yeah, protect the ball. I mean, simple as that. When you limit the turnovers, you maximize your possessions, give yourself a better chance to win, to score, all that nonsense. So, season low, and I think the last turnover of the game was just a shot clock violation.
Yep.
Which technically,
so it should have been 9.
They could have shot it.
I think they tied the season low.
They could have shot it. Season yeah, come on. Just shoot the ball.
Jordan Crawford didn't
Jerks
shoot
like
the
us
ball.
don't say you have 10 turnovers instead of 9.
Can we admire the fact that Jordan Crawford actually didn't shoot the ball and committed a turnover just for the sake of decency?
That describes...
He's a man that we just don't know and understand
That
anymore.
sums up the type of player he is now.
It's true.
My stat is going to be the opposite of the turnovers. It's the assists. 25 assists for the Celtics tonight. Ball's moving. Points were baskets were falling. I thought the ball movement was there. And my good friend Jay King said it after the game. You can tell how well this team played just by looking at the assist numbers. When they have assists up there, they're moving the ball. Obviously, they're moving the ball, but it's good teamwork. You know what I mean? Like, there's no heroes on the team.
And the thing is, Crawford led in assists as usual.
Yes.
But Bass and Wallace both had 4. They were in second place.
Get the big man involved.
Yeah. And Coach Stevens said after the game how important it is that Wallace getting the assists, keeping the second unit going. He was a big factor for Humphries because Humphries, a lot of those baskets he was getting was off of pick and pops from Wallace, especially in the second half there.
Good stuff. Yeah. And he also mentioned Wallace and Bass in the post. Like, those guys are just getting it done down there.
Yeah.
So.
Especially Bass. Oh, man.
Yes.
Bass is finally turning into a low post player.
Slap at the Bass.
I've talked to him a lot about it. He gets annoyed every single time we talk about it. He needs to go into the post and use his gigantic deltoids. I think you weren't there. I was talking to Jay King and Ben Watanabe from Nesson. Bass has gotten so big. He's like Dwight Howard size at this point. Yeah,
he's always been kind of ripped.
He's always been big, but like the deltoids, like the upper body, it's gotten to the point where he was putting it into Wilson Chandler, J.J. Hickson, Kenneth Faried, whoever the matchup was. He was digging into their chest and getting off really good shots because he's just so powerful with his upper body now.
I believe you.
Analysis.
I take your word for it.
Yeah. Okay. So Baller of the Night is Kris Humphries for all the reasons that we talked about in the first video.
But if you didn't see it.
If you didn't see it. Okay, I love the pick and pop. It's one of my favorite plays in the league.
It's one of your favorite things to say.
Yeah. It's fun, pick and pop. And my favorite play of the game was Wallace was driving from, I think it was the right corner, coming around, and Humphries set a cross screen for him. Jimmy's falling asleep already. Humphries rolls out to the KG 20-foot elbow spot, and no defender follows him. Wallace kicks it back, and he nails the shot. And they were running that stuff all night, and it was like watching Pierce and KG together.
Oh, come on.
I got a little bit sad. I shed a little bit of a tear.
You're going to get emotional right now?
Yeah. It's like a Pierce. It's like a Pierce had dreads everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting visual, actually.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, so your guy's Humphries.
Just for the pick and pop.
My guy's going to be Crawford. Again, I feel like I pick him a couple times already.
He's easy to pick now. It's amazing.
He is easy to pick. Okay, 22
good
points,
every game.
9 of 13 from the field, 8 assists, as we talked about, the team in assists. I mean, this is a guy that when Rondo does come back, he's still going to get plenty of minutes. He played 33 minutes tonight. He can still get that amount of time on the court because he can play the 1 and the 2. Because he could always play everyone knows he used to play the 2. Now everyone's like, well, he can actually play the 1. So yeah, he's going to get time. He's going to get time behind Rondo. He's going to get time behind whoever's starting a shooting guard, whether it's Lee or whether it's Bradley or whether it's whoever. But, I just think Jordan Crawford has been the pleasant surprise of the Celtics season. And so he gets my Baller of the Night award.
Switch.
Also, he's really stepped up his fashion game. I don't know if people have noticed, but he's even Instagramming pictures to GQ, I noticed today. Yeah, he's like tagging.
Really?
Yeah. He's really getting into it.
Hanging out with Rondo, I guess.
So Rondo, I was going to say, Rondo better watch out there, too, not just on the court.
He might take his
off the
internship at GQ.
Yeah. I'm sure he would like that. Yeah.
Or was it Vogue? I can't remember.
No, it's GQ, I think.
It was GQ? Okay. So Jordan Crawford, in his last 5 games, averaging 7 assists a game.
That's impressive.
Yeah, he's averaging 5.2 on the season. I don't think that factors in tonight's game, but 13
so now
points
it's
a
like
game.
5.3.
Yeah, 5.2 assists per game. Shooting 44%, 38 from deep. He's good from the free throw line.
And he's confident, too.
Does Crawford have a remote shot at an all-star selection?
And
I say the word remote. He's probably not, remote as in he won't make it, but he's a guy that people will at least talk about as going for that last spot.
Sure. I think he's maybe becoming into that competition because the East is so bad. Who's really, you get LeBron, obviously you get Paul George. Sure, there's obviously good players in the league, but the teams are playing so bad. Are they really that deserving? Is anybody on the Nets deserving? Is anyone on the Knicks deserving? Like Melo, obviously he's putting up points, but look at the Knicks. Aside from their win over the Nets, they really haven't done anything this season.
But just looking at point guards, he's having a bit of a better season than Felton. Yeah. Williams hasn't really been around.
No, you can't give it.
You look at the guys that are locks usually. Like KYRIE Irving's had an up and down year, but he's still having a better season than Crawford.
That's the thing.
But there's not a lot. You go around the league. There's not a lot of the conference. Not a lot of point guards that are playing really well to merit that over him.
If it comes down to points per game or something like that, then he probably doesn't make it in. But if you consider everything, what the Celtics were supposed to be, what Crawford, where he was,
he's the leader of the team that's overperforming right now. He's going to have to get his numbers up a little bit, but based on the way he's been playing in the last 10 games, his numbers are probably going to look something around maybe 15 points and 7 assists a game. And that's good enough to have a shot at all-star contention.
And one other thing, if the numbers stay the way they are with Rondo back, who knows what's going to happen, but what about this? Most improved player. What about that?
Talked about that on the post-game radio show for CLNS.
Did you?
He has a shot. If Davis comes back healthy sometime soon, it's hard to imagine Anthony Davis not getting it, just because he was good. He was really good last year, but he's been one of the top 10 players in the league this year. But Crawford is kind of there's usually 2 categories for most improved. There's the really good player that turned into a star, and then there's the guy that was really struggling and turned into a good player. Right. And Crawford's one of the main guys in that group. There's guys like LaMarcus Aldridge who really isn't that much better than before, but he's now on the best team in the conference. He's been dominating.
He's always he's a perennial all-star.
He's a perennial all-star. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Trying to think of another good answer around
but
it's Boogie Cousins, maybe. I don't know.
It's just the fact that we can even discuss it is just a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, so life is changing every day. It's hard to...
Life is changing. Yeah, life is evolving in front of our eyes.
Okay, well, evolving in front of your eyes is the end of the Garner Report. Another cheesy line to sign off with. That's how you know I'm hosting the show. I'm Jared Weiss from CLNS Radio. Jimmy Toscano from Celtics Blog. The ghost of Evans Clinchy at the end of the table. He'll actually be back for the Clipper game, and that's when we'll see you next. Throwing your hand in a frame.
Big Clipper game. Join us for that post game.
So Doc Rivers will make his return. We're not going to say anything right now. We're going to save it for you Wednesday. But we're going to talk about Doc Rivers for a long time on Wednesday's show. So definitely tune in for that. This is the Garden Report on Celtics Blog and CLNS Radio. Celtics are still in first place.